Hey guys, this is Steph with Dotting with Dragons. Welcome in if you're new and welcome back if you're returning. Here I've got a couple of kits I'm going to be unboxing for you today from a recent release, Spring Keeper by Yuumei Art and Serra by Margaret Morales. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I am on a low/no buy with few exceptions. And this kind of is going to cap off my unboxing extravaganza that I've been doing lately with these new releases, two of which released on the same week. And I was extremely excited because both of these were things that I was highly anticipating for release. So I'm going to start off with Spring Keeper. This is a pretty dark piece. A lot of Yuumei's pieces tend to be darker, just in color palette wise. She's got a lot of like really dreamy art. I'm actually waiting on one of hers to restock. Ooh, this is tight. Ashes. That is one of a series that I submitted all of the pieces to licensing. And I believe I may have been one that submitted this one as well. Anyway, that Ashes kind of got away from me, but it's a beautiful kit, so I can't wait for that to restock. Anyways, so we've got our kit in here. We've got our toolkit and our card. So we'll go through the toolkit first. We've got a pat of the clear wax. Let me see if I can get some better light. Here we go. This will refill the twist and pick pen. Here's the large tray with a 7-placer and the original wax. You will have to peel back the little plastic sheet to get in there. And then we have our twist and pick pen, which is filled with that clear wax, and literally all you do is you just twist it down until it gets tight and the wax starts to come out of the tip. Sometimes it can take a minute, and then the cap goes back on to keep it fresh. So this is cool because you can actually interchange this with any tip that you like that fits. This is a thin 4-placer, and there's the 7-placer back in the tray. So, and then a bag of baggies. Really the only thing these days that I keep from the kit, because I use these for my main extra storage system. The rest of these materials I have been trying to list on the D-Stash. So I actually was able to sell all my small trays, so that was kind of nice. And I threw some goodies in there. Here's our card. This is going to have all the fun stuff in it. We've got our trading quest. This is bronze. Yes, so I mentioned the bronze. So most of the newer kits now will come with this trading treasure quest card, and there's space for you to scratch off the back when you're ready to redeem these cards. There's a 4 color combination. There's black cards, there's silver cards, there's gold cards, and bronze cards, and each one's a little bit harder to get. I've never gotten a black card. But you can redeem them for extra gift cards and stuff like that, and a custom diamond painting. Here's our color palette. That is gorgeous. 89 colors. 1, 2, 3 fairy dust. 1, 2, 3 ABs. Those are our specials, and here's our original artwork. So dreamy. Plus, tigers, favorite cat, so you know, it's really hard for me to resist a tiger painting, but I have resisted several, including a Margaret Morales, so that I sent to licensing. But it's okay. It sold out in 2 seconds anyway, and right now Diamond Art Club's like, I guess, a real hot ticket item to try to get. They've been selling, their kits have been selling out a lot. People have been getting kind of frustrated with their experiences, so I'm okay waiting for restocks. Alright. So, get rid of our dust bag. Here's our canvas. I'm going to start here because this is the bottom. Ooh. Okay, so Yuumei is also well known for her confetti. This is insane confetti already. Dang. But it gives you all that detail. Oh, I love Look at that, beautiful. Oh my God. This is so cool. Wow. So we got some color blocking like up here. Let me guess. That's 939. Let's see. Nope, 3371, but yet another dark blue. Yuumei really loves the navy blues, the dark blues. It's a lot of that in her pieces. Do we even have 310 in this piece? No, there's not even any 310 in this piece. So, okay, look at that gorgeousness. That is absolutely stunning. I love that we get this really detailed portrait of the tiger's face. It just looks so cool. Okay, anyway, and then here we've got a nice big pack of drills. As we can see in here, there's a couple of bright light colors that kind of pop out. But the rest, kind of on their own. Okay, so we've got some specials. I will take a look for those and be right back. All right, so first up we got our fairy dust drills. We've got this really pretty spread of this light blue and this green and this sort of off-white color. And then for our ABs, sticking with that theme, we've got a light blue, a dark, a light blue, a dark blue, and then this green. And you're gonna see we really do not have a lot of drills for these colors, and that's because they're really just sort of sprinkled everywhere. So basically anywhere on this canvas that you see a pop of like blue or green, it's very likely you're gonna have one of those symbols in here. So like for instance, look at this really pretty dark blue AB. That's one of my favorite ABs. It's going to be this box symbol that you're gonna see it like right here. Okay, so all of those, we're gonna have like a spot here, a spot here, spot here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And then as we get back down into the face, this symbol really pops to me because of the white outline there, a little bit here, a little bit there. Okay, and then as we get down here, not too much of that one down here. So that's your darkest blue AB. Okay, sorry about that. We have this sort of medium blue right here, really pretty. This one, again, we're gonna see it in many places, just sort of spread out like a little bit here, a little bit here. It's that little L symbol. And then some of the fairy dust, that lowercase a fairy dust, is gonna be with it. So these two are going to be placed together, which is really pretty because, I mean, they're very similar in color, but still different enough to really make it look nice. And then we just have like one or two in here. And then as we go up, we don't see a whole lot of it until we get back here. And it's sort of this, let me get you a little bit closer. It's sort of this like, not super dark blue, but like medium dark blue here, a little bit here. Here, I think I pointed it out right here. You can see that L color. And then we've got it here on the eyes and a little bit here and a little bit just kind of coming off in like the tuft of this. So, and then over here, a little bit over here and here too. So it just kind of really highlights those areas that you would think would be highlighted on this portrait. And we got some in the ears here. Over here, and then in the ears here, and you can see a lot of this is going to be made up of the AB, as well as that little lowercase a there is going to be this fairy dust. So it's going to be really pretty to see that. So sort of just moving into that fairy dust, because we're already up here. Here's some more of that L. So you see these two are going to be those two ABs next to each other. But then we got some of this little fairy dust just kind of sprinkled all in these ears, that lowercase a, boom, boom. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit here, just really a very little sprinkling, smattering. Oops. And it's really just going to kind of keep your interest moving through the confetti. That's what I have found when they put specials as confetti pieces. It's nice to kind of like break it up. A little bit here, and then where we see the blue a lot, where we see the blue a lot is kind of, you know, in these what do they call it? This part of the tiger. It's not like their eyebrows, but it's kind of like crazy old man eyebrows is how I always think of it. And so we've got just smattered in here. We've got a little bit in the eyes. You know, that's really pretty. So again, we got a little bit here. We really don't have a ton of any of these specials, but they really are just sort of exactly where you would think that they would be. Little pieces of blue, there's a special in that. Our other AB is going to be this green one with this sort of star symbol. So then we look for that one, and we're looking at this sort of like lighter green appearance right here. I just love how Yuumei, this artist, plays with nature and plants and non-plants. I don't know how else to say that, but I love her like intermix of these two things. So we've got some of it here, dot, 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 a little bit here, a little bit there. We even have some in the eyes, just this light part here and here. And we've got a little bit of it off here. So yeah, we've got a, you know, probably even less of this, here it is, this green AB. And then our two others, we've got two other fairy dusts. We've got a green fairy dust and this off-white fairy dust. So these ones were a lot easier for me to find. So the equal sign is where we're going to have that sort of like off-white fairy dust. And being that this is a orange tiger, it's kind of interesting to me that there wasn't any orange specials, and that there's not more of this color in this tiger actually because of how their colorations are. But this is really cool. So yeah, we don't have a ton of that actually. Like I said, we have a little bit here. We have like, I'm not even kidding you guys, like a couple right here. Love how they use it to kind of outline this part of the eye here. A little bit down here. And then we have more of it, I guess, in the bottom here. We've got more of the equals sign here. This is a toughie because I don't ever have like a specific way that I start a canvas every time. I'm not like, it's always got to be top left. It just is always different every time. I guess I tend to start at the bottom, really. I feel like that might be a good thing to kind of like break some of this up. How would you guys approach this canvas if you were going to do this? Would you like do a section of crazy confetti and then like go up here and do a little bit of that to get your sanity back and then come here and like, how would you approach this? I'd be curious. So that's that equal fairy dust. And then this green chartreuse really just kind of hangs around the AB. So you can see it. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Oh, that I was looking at the wrong symbol. Where did it go? I just had it in my eyes. Okay, right here. So this sort of, it's like a ladder. It looks like a ladder. So we're gonna get that like a little bit here in the eye. We're gonna have it a little bit here, a little bit there, a couple over here, a couple there, a couple there. And then in the ear here is where I thought I saw it a little bit here, here, a little bit over here. So yeah, so it's not a ton of specials, but you know, you always have the option of blinging it up yourself. I just really appreciate the way Diamond Art Club usually does that. But yeah, I'm curious how you would approach it, working on this piece. I'm going to put this stuff away and get out Serra next. I just realized that I completely forgot to go over the stats for Spring Keeper by Yuumei. These are both square kits, by the way, which you can tell because the boxes are blue. And we've got 22 inches by 33 inches or 55.8 centimeters by 83.6 centimeters. So it's a little bit of a big one, but I forgot to totally go over the stats of that. Sometimes that happens. So this is Serra, which I love the way that she spells Serra because I've only known one Serra that was spelled that way. She was a very good friend of mine that I used to work with when we lived in Colorado. So it kind of reminds me of her, but love mermaids, love Margaret Morales. I know I submitted this one along with other people, so I'm very excited to see this one. Okay, we've got 25.6 inches by 34.3 inches, 65 centimeters by 86.9 centimeters. So we're a little bit bigger than the other one. This one's interesting because I've been hearing something rattling around in here. And this is crazy, guys. I have a few Margaret Moraleses. I love her artwork. I love watercolor art styles, right? And that's what she's a watercolor artist, it appears like. Anyway, I have watched some of her art videos where she shows you how she's making her art. And yeah, it is watercolor, and just that's what I used to do, was watercolor. I love her art style. I have unboxed a few of her kits, but I have not yet actually worked on one. I don't know, they're like super special kits to me, and so I save them, and I'm gonna start working on them. But anyway, here's our toolkit. Set that aside because we know what's in here. Here's our thank you pamphlet. Let's see what we got. Looks like another bronze. Beautiful card. I just love collecting them. I think they're really pretty. And mostly I get bronze. So here's our color palette. Absolutely gorgeous. We've got 97 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4 fairy dust and 3 ABs. This is my color palette. The blues, the greens, the pastels, the teals. Like, this is just a dream. Purples, lavenders. This is totally my color palette. So I'm gonna put that in here. This actually may be the first Margaret that I work on. I'm currently in the year, we are in the middle of the year of the whip down. That is what my 2026 is. Which is funny because all these creators are doing like the 26 for 26 challenge. I don't know if you've heard about that, but it's something that was began in the cross stitch community, which I also cross stitch, where people just start, like get drills down, get stitches in on 26 projects. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to do the opposite of that right now. So yeah, but I kind of do feel like I'm participating too, because I've got all these like kits kitted up that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get these, you know, I'm gonna work on these, and yeah. Okay, so oops, we're on the bottom again. Let me turn this around. Beautiful blues and teals and green. Look, listen, if this is not your color palette, don't go for this one, okay? Leave it to those of us who love this color palette. Wow, because you will not have fun with this. This is gorgeous. Plus mermaids, guys, mermaids. Oh my God, look at her face. Oh, I love her hair and her face and the flowers in here. They look like kind of lotuses and shells or whatever. This is so cool. Her face looks a little scary right now, but I have seen these faces rendered and they are absolutely gorgeous. So, wow. All the blues and greens, they're so pretty. Here's our pack of drills. A dream boat of colors. Just look at that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, it's so funny because the way they named this Serra, this how they spelled it, it will always make me think of my friend Serra, who I called the Serra, and she called me the Steph. So it'll be fun to work on this and think of her. And I'm going to tell her about it. So I will be right back. I'm going to get out the specials and we're going to look at where they are. Okay, so I did find the specials, and I thought what I would do is just, since this canvas is so big, I'm just going to go through the canvas section by section. Also, this is crazy. I have this like bent back. The canvas was bent back, and the glue still seems pretty sticky. But yeah, I imagine that this will just be a fold or a crease that comes out because I hang them up. But that's a pretty strong crease in there. So I've never had an issue with Diamond Art Club canvases not still turning out perfectly after I'm done with it. But that might be something if you encounter a hot iron with a little bit of steam, put a cloth on top, a damp cloth on top, and then use like a iron press to get that out. That's how I would work on that one if I cared enough to do that. Okay, so we have some hefty specials. We have multiple bags, which I absolutely love this. So these are our fairy dusts. Dreamy, dreamy fairy dust. We have a lot of them, so that's really encouraging to see. We have this really pretty blue. It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, I drew on my finger. Let me see if I can try to... Okay, there we go. This one is... Yeah, this one's a lot more subtle than the others, but once you get it down, it'll look really pretty. And then we have this teal, which is kind of a more common fairy dust that I've gotten in different kits. It's very pretty down. And then I have this even lighter teal, which is really pretty as well. And then our standouts are going to be our, oops, one more fairy dust. Sorry about this. It's light gray. And then our standouts are going to be our ABs. So these drills have this iridescent coating. They sparkle a little bit more. This is your 5200, pretty classic. Very small amount of this, so it'll be a little bit harder for me to find in the canvas. And then again, a really small amount of this green one, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of just start at the top and go our way, work our way down. So this symbol right here, all of this white that you see in here, and this, all the bright white is going to be this AB, okay? So you can't see we got quite a bit of it, so that's really fun. And then we've got some lighter green AB. We're gonna see it's the plus symbol. It's gonna be here and here, kind of working its way there. And then we've got this sort of like, what do they call that? The like the sand timer, kind of on its side. That's what I call that one. That one, let's see, where did you go? It's gonna be here. So it's sort of this like medium green, but again, there's really not a lot of this. So, and they do give you extras. So those are kind of our ABs in the top half of the canvas. You know, you're seeing a little bit of the white down here. And then there's just a small amount of that green AB like in her shells. Whoop. In her shell there, but, or the top of the shell. But that's kind of where that is. And then we have this W, which is a really pretty light gray fairy dust. And this W is kind of all over the place. So we've got it really like highlighting her hair. So that's going to be like a really pretty like silvery highlight. Where did I see that? I just put my finger here, but I saw it. I saw it, I swear. Yes. Okay, a little bit here, here, down at the bottom of this. Yeah, it's just really pretty a little bit here. Just really highlighting her hair in these areas. No, not out there. And a little bit in her wrist. Yeah, so that's kind of, and then a little bit over here. Either this is like a bubble or part of her tail still, I'm not entirely sure. So that's where our light gray fairy dust is going to be up here. And then we've got, well, let's go to the next. We've got this one, which is like this down symbol. It's a teal. That one, let's see. Okay, we've got a little bit of it here. We've got a little bit of it. Ah, I swear, I found them. And now they're gone here in her hair, just a little bit here, a little bit here. It's kind of like playing around the white ABs and the gray. And then we've got down here, here, kind of highlighting this green part of her arm here. And then we've got a lot of it in here, in her outfit, in the shells, and then there. And then it continues here. Actually, I think this is the tip of her tail here. So it kind of continues here. So that's top half of your canvas of that fairy dust. So then we're left with, moving on to the next teal. It's the like dollar, American dollar symbol. So this one is going to be mostly in her hair here. So we've got it up here. We've got it lined throughout here as like a really pretty highlight. We've got it again here, little chunks of it here, little chunks of it there. Oops, sorry, I think I hit that. It's over here. It's really just sort of in here. It's really like highlighting all around her hair. That's really pretty. And then we've got, I thought I saw some of it down here. This is really cool, like this collar that she's wearing, or this choker, not collar, choker necklace. It looks like the collar of a shirt. a little bit here, and in here. So that's where we got that. So I'm expecting maybe we'll see more of that in the bottom half of the canvas. And then this really pretty blue, 3760. This is the letter C. So this one's going to be a little bit up here, a little bit more in like the water, right? See chunk of it here and outlining like this bubble or something right here. We've got it a little bit at the top of the canvas here. We've got it here, sort of like the outer edge of her hair. We've got it up in here, here. Excuse me. Allergies. Yep, and then we've got it just a little bit patches here, here, down here, and then up. Ooh, twofer, that's crazy. And we got it here. And it's just sort of like a backgroundy color. So that is the top half of this canvas. Let's flip it over. So, looking at the bottom, okay, I'm kind of going a little backwards. So we're going to stick with this C. I'm seeing it over here in the edge. I'm seeing it in the middle here where her fin is like coming up around her waist. That's really cool. And then I see it in big chunks here. Big chunks through here, through here. That's going to be fun. It's really kind of highlighting a lot of this. That's going to be really cool. And then this $sign is just all over the place. So like if I bring you down, a lot of these teals kind of look like maybe they sort of look like they're all blending in, and it's hard to tell apart. Like you've got like 4 or 5 of these colors in here that are the same, that are kind of not sticking out very nicely. So I'm trying to find a good, okay, so here you can see it in here. So that's, yeah, I guess it's not really helpful because there's a lot of teals and lighter blues in here. So I'm just gonna have to point that out. So we've got a lot of it here. We've got some of it in here. A little bit sprinkled here and here. A little bit of it here. Not so much down there. We've got a little bit of it there, just a couple over here, and then we have it a lot more of it here, like outlining this, and I don't see it in that part of the tail, and then a little bit here. So yeah, so we've got this one smattered around, so that's pretty cool. So then we've got this teal, that down symbol teal. And this one again is just sort of all over. It's a little bit more, pulls a little bit more green than blue. So it's in these scales here. It's here. It's here. Here, it outlines here. It almost feels like I find more of this opportunity than this one. Like I find more of this. Or maybe it just sticks out to my eye a little bit better because it's a little bit more differentiated, this right here. But again, it kind of hangs out where this fairy dust is on the canvas, and I love it. It's throughout these scales. I think I already said that. And then it's here, and it's kind of used. This one's kind of used as like an outliner. So yeah, so that's really cool. I love it when they put them next to each other because they play off of each other and look really pretty. And then we've got this W, this like grayish, really light gray fairy dust. And to be fair, I really don't see a ton of it down here at all. Like I see a little bit here, a little bit here, in the scales here for the shine. This is almost like it is a very pale gray, but it's almost like where you would maybe see a white, but because of the color palette, it's not going to be that obvious. I could not find either one of these in the bottom half of the canvas. If you have this canvas and can find them, please let us know in the comments. I scoured, I could not find them, but there's not a ton of these drills anyway, so that kind of makes sense. So other than that, we have our white AB down here, and you can clearly see it here, and all these like little bubbles and baubles and things, kind of dotted a little bit here, a little bit here. Sorry, a little bit here, here, a little bit at the bottom of the canvas. So that wraps up the special drills for, I'm gonna call it the Serra, and I'll be back to wrap up this video. Okay, so if you've made it this far to the end of the video, thank you for hanging out with me while we took a look at these two beautiful canvases by two of my favorite artists at Diamond Art Club. There's Serra by Margaret Morales and Spring Keeper by Yuumei Art. As of time of this filming and shortly after they released, they pretty much sold out. These two were were they part of that? No, I think they were just a weekend release. I was going to say they were not part of the anniversary. They were part of a weekend release. But Diamond Art Club does keep in mind that these are two of their favorite artists. I would be really shocked if they were not restocked. As of right now, though, it does say that you can get on their in-stock notification list. Definitely do that. And if you're new to Diamond Art Club, use some of these codes floating around for new purchasers and new customers. I don't have any affiliate codes, but other content creators do, so definitely go check them out. Make yourself an account, sign up for an email notification. They do restocks randomly, but it usually does take about 3 to 6 months for them to get restocks created, made, shipped back to their warehouse, and be able for them to put on for sale. So definitely do that and check that out. Let me know if you've picked up either of these two canvases, and if you have pieces by these artists, who was your first Yuumei and who was your first Margaret Morales piece you worked on? I'd be interested to know. Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. They're both free ways to help build our community here, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!